Welcome to Cowgirl Talk, where we empower you to live authentically through real food, real talk, and real life. Sisters brought together by our love of cows. We're your host, Emily, a dairy lover and personal trainer living in Florida.
And Becca, a corporate cowgirl holding down the family fort in Pennsylvania. Let's go, cowgirls!
Hello, and welcome back to Cowgirl Talk. Today's episode is a really fun one, as I know they're all fun, but today we're going to be chatting with Ashley Hagenow, better known as the 76th Alice in Dairyland. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, you're really going to get a deep dive into that in today's episode. But basically, this figure is in Wisconsin, and for a year straight, she gets to really represent and learn more about Wisconsin agriculture. And honestly, Becca and I both have known about this position through World Dairy Expo, but we really got a little bit more insight into other types of agriculture in Wisconsin, how Ashley came upon this role, kind of what her future plans are. And we even potentially created a business at the end of this episode about different ice cream flavors, which is perfect for the start of National Ice Cream Month when this releases. So it is just a packed full episode. And before we dive into that, of course, we're going to start with our highs and lows of the weekend. I love all parts of our episode, but highs and lows are always such a fun way for Becca and I to catch up. So, Becca, I'm so excited. What are your highs and lows for the week?
So, I don't know. I had a pretty big week. I was thinking about this morning and I didn't write it down. So I might have a couple of highs as I roll through my candidates. But I think, the top one is that yesterday, which was Saturday prior to this being released, is that Joey and I went to one of our friends' houses that is near Lancaster, and we went to go see Allie and Mike.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, and so my, I think, other contender for the high, which always revolves around food per usual with Emmy and I, is that we are going to go get Jimmy John's for lunch because they always have really good wraps during the summer, and their chicken Caesar wrap, it's all chopped really nicely, and the ranch dressing is really good. It's fresh, it's crisp. And I told Emmy, I'm glad that we're only doing the highs and lows today because literally all I can think about is this wrap. After some technical difficulties, we are back, and Emily is going to tell us about, you know what, Emily, start with your low.
Yeah.
Start with your low.
I guess technically y'all don't even know we went anywhere because you're not in this real time with us. But if you are watching the recording, you will see we're having some technical difficulties. I feel like this is my first day back on the job with podcasting because I remember it was a doozy trying to figure this out. So my low for the week is I think my laptop is shitting the bed, unfortunately. And it's done well for me so far for many years. I think Becca and I were talking about it. I've had it, I think, 6 or 7 years at this point, maybe a little less, but we record on a certain platform, Riverside, and it is just starting to really drag. And our entire time trying to record this high and low so far, it has been glitching. I've paused, Becca's paused, and we're like, what's going on? We're basically just pretending to know what the other is saying. So I have swapped over to my phone with headphones and a little tripod stand. So we're trying to make this work the best we can. For our devout listeners, we don't want to disappoint you.
It's a good thing that the interview is so good.
Yeah, I know. And
it's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah, I promise, guys. This is chaotic, but the interview is amazing, perfect, and Ashley really brings a nice polished finish to Cowgirl Talk. So, yeah, my low, which, I mean, not if I get a new laptop, cool, but I think that's my low. And also, we went out last night, which was Saturday, of course, and we went to bed, closer to 4 a.m. So a little bit of a longer night for us. So not really hungover, just a bit tired. So those are my lows, but
that's so late.
I know it was fun, but definitely a late night. Wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, but luckily we had a little more of an open day today, so we could rest up and sleep in a little bit.
Nice. Well, so, okay, that's your low. Then tell me what's keeping you going through these technical difficulties. What is your high, other than you're going to get to go laptop shopping, which will be fun?
I know. I haven't done that in a while, so we'll see how that goes. But highs. It wasn't a crazy week or anything, but I feel like I have a couple fun ones, maybe just two. So we talked about it a little bit in the interview portion of this episode, but I officially got a freaking Ninja Creamy, and I am so stoked. I finally can join the Ninja Creamy gang, which really is perfect timing to line up with Ice Cream Month.
Yeah, we got one as a bridal shower gift,
Oh
and
yeah,
we just literally don't have anywhere to put it in this apartment.
really?
We are filled to the brim, and it's just we're starting the house buying process. Like we
Oh.
submitted for pre-approval and all of that stuff. Um, but our Ninja Creamy, whenever you posted your
Hmm.
Instagram stuff about it, and then Haley of She Likes Milk posted her banana
Yeah,
peanut butter chocolate something
I
ice cream. I was
know.
like, you know what, Joe? We need to go get that, and I need to make us a bananas Foster ice cream. Like I've just got to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so do you have it yet in the apartment?
No, I still haven't went and got it. Maybe
Oh, so
today.
is it in the storage unit?
Yeah, so it's we have two storage
Oh,
units. Mine has like just big bulky stuff from we both moved two apartments into one, so we can only keep
yeah.
so many things. And then he has one that's a smaller one, but is temp controlled. So that's where all of our wedding
Mm.
gifts are. Because we
Oh,
essentially
yeah.
just replaced everything and then got some fun toys like a pasta maker extension for our KitchenAid, a Ninja
Fancy.
Creamy, fancy pottery plate stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of fun things in there that just literally would have to be sitting out on the floor in order for us to keep it in the apartment. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited for us to be able to swap Ninja Creamy ice cream recipes.
Yeah, same, because I totally forgot you got one. So you really haven't gotten to utilize any of the bridal shower or wedding gifts even yet.
No, nope.
Oh, bummer.
I did the collapsible laundry hamper that we got in some of our oven
Oh,
mitts.
the smaller things, the things that don't take up a ton
The
of
things
space.
that'll fit.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I need you to get this Ninja Creamy then, so you can make this banana Foster recipe and let
Yeah.
us know because that sounds really fun and it sounds delicious.
It is going to be delicious.
Yeah, but 10 out of 10 recommend, honestly. And I have heard some people say, oh, it kind of breaks often, or I don't know how often, but if you get it, apparently get the warranty on it or something. So I did unknowingly, I just did it anyways. But yeah, we've made a few fun recipes so far, more so in the protein realm. I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of what we'll use it for, just because, yeah, you can really turn anything into ice cream consistency. I'm not going to say then it's going to taste exactly like a Jenny's ice cream or something, but it's still pretty dang good. You can basically turn a protein shake into ice cream. So it's a
Yeah.
fun way to, you know, really have best of both worlds.
I agree. And I can have some more fun with, I can make it lactose free. Because a lot of ice creams, even with lactate
Oh,
pills, right? I mean, lactate ice cream's pretty good, but they're limited on flavors.
yep. Oh my gosh, that's such a
So,
good point. You can literally just make your own lactate ice creams with, yeah, more because they have some cool flavors, but
yep.
not anything over the top like a Ben and Jerry's or a Jenny's or
No.
anything like that.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting the Ted Lasso themed Jennies or the like crazy chunky monkey stuff from Ben and
Coffee ice
Jerry's.
cream.
Yeah. So I could, you know what? I could make the coconut coffee ice cream we talked about, which we
Oh
kind of mentioned a
man.
little bit in the interview with Ashley Alice.
They, I say it in the what interview portion. I call her Ashley or like
You called her
Alish or
Alish. You called her
that.
Alish.
We'll just combine it. No, but that's a great idea. Now I'm thinking of ideas because you have to freeze it 24 hours ahead of time. So I can make some ice cream tonight, maybe with some coffee in it. But
Yeah.
then it has caffeine in it. Either way, yeah, the options and the possibilities are literally endless. And other than that, if you guys are watching this and if you follow me on Instagram, you can kind of see I chopped my hair off even more this week, and I'm going back to the blonde side. I mean, it's still, yeah, I know, yay!
Yay.
I had dark hair for what, kind of November until recently, and I was like, well, and Ruben, he likes the blonde. And I was like, I also kind of miss the blonde. So
Yeah.
I I feel like I'm still kind of in the middle. I feel like brunettes would probably consider this blonde, but I'm still not all the way there yet, but I'm working my way back. And yeah, I just got it back to my shorter length, which when you get short hair, if it even grows an inch, it automatically then just feels so
Yeah.
long because there's like not a lot of it. Like yours looks
Same.
long right now, considering, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm having to let it grow to get it all to one length.
Oh.
I'm not vibing with the layers in my short hair. I want
Mm,
just one cut because it's
yeah.
easier to pull back and it's easier to style and do all the things. The layers are just too, they're too let me speak to the manager with short hair for me.
Well, yeah, because it's hard with short hair. It's limited on what you can do to pull it up, and so if you do have layers, it makes it even a little more tricky. Because with my short hair now, I've kind of done a bob style almost, where it is a little bit shorter in the back and it goes longer in the front, and not dramatic, but I can't necessarily pull my hair up in a ponytail anymore. I'm always going to have
Yeah.
the little pieces in the back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
we got ice cream, we got new hair vibes, and now we have to hear your low. I know we shouldn't end with a low, but I had to start with my low because
uh,
technology is being doo-doo today.
I don't know that I really have a low.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I think the last, you know what, the last 2 weeks, it's similar to last week's low, so I'm just going to continue that low. Is that the past 2 weeks
I'm
I've done
tired.
I've done a lot of driving in my body.
Yeah.
I just haven't quite recovered yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I have had like I'm just not quite at my best.
Yeah.
And but I today was the first day I woke up and I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling good because even yesterday, we kept it to a pretty healthy lunch. I know the blueberry crumble is not healthy, but
Balance.
it was balanced and we haven't done anything crazy with food and we've been moving. And so I'm starting to slowly feel better because actually, this week we had our first product photo shoot at work and I've never gotten to do
Yeah.
a product photo shoot. And that
Go
was
Becca.
so much fun. It was awesome. I treat our brand of milk and dairy fluid dairy products like my children. And it was so good to see them shine at their
That's
first photo shoot
awesome.
with me. And then actually another high, oh my God, I completely forgot about this. The photographer and her food stylist, she called her, they came and were doing the photo shoot and we both had to stay, like the three of us had to stay
Mm-hmm.
overnight because it was a 3 hour drive for me and 2 hours for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner with us? I'm like, sure, why not?
Aw.
Rather than being by myself. And so we went to this place called the Sangria Bar or Sangria Bowl in Culpeper,
Ooh.
Virginia. Real wild place. And we didn't know, but we showed up and it was trivia night. And
How
we got
fun.
second place. We only lost by 1 point. And it was because none of us could remember what the last frontier was. What
Oh,
what
I
what
don't.
US Emmy, what US state do you think the last frontier is called the last frontier?
I would think like a Montana,
We said Montana. It's
right?
Alaska. It's Alaska.
Because the last,
Duh. It was the
well, I
last
didn't.
state and there's literally a show about Alaska called The Last Frontier.
That's what. It's not a trick question. It literally like explains itself in the question, but you almost think, no, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean one of the last states, does it?
Yeah.
Like, because
If
Alaska
we
and
would
Hawaii were.
exactly, we got that wrong and then we were so
Uh,
confident that the sunflower state was Oklahoma, but it was Kansas. So, we could have won, but we're
uh,
bad at geography.
Same. I would have not helped
So
you
bad.
guys in any
Oh,
capacity.
and here's another question, Em. Trivia for our Cowgirl Talk listeners.
Yeah, let's see how well
What
y'all know
is
these.
what is the longest river in the United States?
Well, I feel like it would be the Mississippi, but that's probably wrong because that's what you guys said.
Yes, it's the Missouri
So,
River.
what the hell? Where is that?
Where's
Obviously,
that
Missouri.
at?
Like,
Yeah,
where's that at
obviously
other than
Missouri.
Missouri? Well,
But
isn't
yeah,
the Mississippi River like goes through there? I thought.
everybody said the Mississippi. And the
Oh, what
lady
a
doing trivia was really funny. Her table was right next to our table, so she was winking at us whenever we would say, "Oh, I wonder if the answer is blah blah blah," and she would wink at us.
like giving you the heads up.
But she said everybody said Mississippi. I had to re-Google it, and Google
Yeah,
said
to
it's the
confirm. Like, am
Missouri.
I wrong?
Yeah, she thought, she goes, maybe I am wrong, but Google says so.
Do they?
Anyways,
Maybe
that was
they
a lot of fun.
combine.
Yeah,
That is fun. Well,
but
now I'm
it
gonna go
was
do a history or geography lesson after this.
Yeah, and it was fun that it was probably better that we didn't win first place because first place prize was a gift card to the restaurant that we would never go back to again.
Yeah,
So,
you'd feel bad taking that from someone who could be a
yeah.
regular or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a fun week. I'm still not quite at my best yet from a sleep and movement and eating
Feel that.
perspective, but I feel better today. And I actually just booked my spin, my Pilates, and my new Circuit Fitness group training class that I'm going to use to get me motivated to get back into weights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
hit
then
hit some
once I'm back
weights.
into the weights, I'll start my Dairy Girl Fitness book again. So we're
Hell
on the
yeah.
way. We're on the way to feeling better after these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got to do what makes you feel good, and in whatever capacity allows you to get back to moving, do that. I've kind of been in that as well, just getting back more into lifting, really just 3 times a week. But I've still been able to get really strong, and I'm trying to just get back to doing it in a way that I enjoy.
Yeah,
So I feel that.
there was something. The last thing I'll say is someone the other day. Oh, Money with Katie was talking
I
about.
love her.
She's right.
Everyone should follow her. Best podcast too,
She was
other than
said she.
us.
What was she? She was talking about. She's writing a blog of should we be anti-aging, and this whole like the whole
Mm,
trending thing now is you should age but age well. And I thought,
yeah,
ooh, you know what I like is why don't we just call it healthy aging? Like
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
anti-aging, we're promoting a healthier future us. And so that's why I was like, you know what, Becca, you've helped me reframe my mindset of I need to figure out something and just do whatever is making me happy in the moment. And right now it's spin. And I think the group Circuit Fitness will help me add in a little bit more weight because I need more weight. So we'll
yeah.
see. But I'm
No,
all
I'm here
about
for it.
healthy aging.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because it's bonkers that we're promoting all these things to girls that are like aren't even 20 yet. Of you have to do this, this, and this to not look old. It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna get older. That's okay. Why aren't we
Yeah.
allowed to get older? Men don't
Yeah.
care about any of this.
No, literally, they don't.
Like,
We were talking about that yesterday on our walk. You
yeah,
know,
so much of our time and energy,
Mike and Joe literally woke up looking the way that they looked all day.
and that's okay, right? They're
And
like,
that's
yeah, this is
okay.
fine.
And Allie and I, obviously, we both put on a little bit of mascara, did our hair, washed our
Mm-hmm.
face, put on our serums.
Yep.
Because we were talking about how, like, oh, well, where does all of our money go? And I'm like, my $80 Kadali or whatever morning brightening serum. That's where it
Yeah, my
goes.
my
That's where
vitamin
my
C
money
serum.
goes.
Yep, my vitamin C serum and my moisturizer. Like, what?
Yeah. My tallow, my moisture, it goes everywhere. It's my face.
Man,
My face is where my money goes.
I hope y'all enjoyed looking at this because it's not cheap.
Honestly, yeah. That's why my skin is so nice. I spend all my money on it.
Thank goodness. Wow. Well,
Oh, but I
I
digress. We really went down a rabbit hole, but I'm excited that and we go down a couple rabbit holes with
yeah,
Alish as well.
Alice.
No.
We do. And it's
She's so great. I'm so excited for everyone to listen to what she has to share with us.
it is. She's so well spoken. And I know every Alice in Dairyland is just an incredible representation of agriculture for Wisconsin, of course, but I say it in the interview portion. A representation of agriculture in one state is an amazing representation for all of us, and it benefits every single person in agriculture. And yeah, I know our industry is in good hands, and interviews like this and conversations like this always just make me so excited and remind us of agriculture being in the next generation, and everyone's really passionate about it, and I'm just freaking stoked for it. So I hope y'all enjoy this episode, and we're gonna let y'all dive right on in.
All right, we are so excited to be officially chatting with Ashley Hagenow, and you may also know her as Alice in Dairyland. And I already told her previous to this, I'm like, I'm sorry if I interchange Alice and oh my, I even just combined it right there.
You just made a new name for her,
I
Alish.
just literally combined the personality. So if I accidentally call you Ashley or Alice, she's like, I will respond to either. But this is
100%.
Ashley, officially known as the 76th Alice in Dairyland for Wisconsin. So hello, Ashley. Welcome to Cowgirl Talk.
Yes, hello. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I feel so honored to be in your presence because I followed you both and have loved your journeys in the industry of ag and just how you inspire so many. So I'm just so happy to be here today.
Oh my gosh, you're gassing us up already. So this is going to be so much fun. Thank you so much for that. And we are just so excited for this conversation because Alice in Dairyland is something that is very well known in the dairy space, but I'm excited to really learn more about you, but
Yeah.
also what this position means. So, everyone can really get a little bit of a better idea of who is Ashley behind Alice in Dairyland. Could you
Mhm.
give us a quick introduction into yourself and then kind of diving into explaining what Alice in Dairyland is?
I certainly can. So, again, my name is Ashley Hagenow, and I am from the great state of Wisconsin, which is where the Alice in Dairyland program all began. But to dive deeper into my journey in the industry of agriculture, I grew up super involved in 4 H and FFA from as early as I could get involved. And whether it was showing livestock like dairy or horses with my younger sister, or gaining so many teamwork and leadership and communication skills through those organizations, or most importantly, meeting the people that make up the industry of agriculture. I feel so thankful to have grown up in this industry and really be inspired by all that it provides us with each and every day. And that's really been my driving force, I would say, throughout my life. So I more recently attended college at the University of Minnesota. I graduated a year ago. I keep wanting to say last spring, but it's already been a year since I graduated college. And I studied agricultural communication and marketing with minors in animal science and agricultural and food business management. And all of my experiences growing up and as a college student have really offered a glimpse into the industry of agriculture. And I've really enjoyed focusing especially on marketing and communication, which is really what leads us to the Alice in Dairyland program.
Perfect.
So, my journey began as Alice a little over a year ago. I was selected the middle of May in 2023 and then officially began my year of service July 5th of 2023. And so, what Alice in Dairyland is she is the official ambassador for Wisconsin's agricultural industry. We describe this position as a 1 year full time marketing and public relations professional role. And what's super unique about Alice is I'm actually a state employee for this year. So, Alice is employed under the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, which makes it super unique. And this is a full time job for me. So, I actually earn a salary and I will travel anywhere between 40,000 to 50,000 miles in this year promoting the diversity and abundance of Wisconsin agriculture. And how we accomplish, we engage with media partners across the state of Wisconsin, whether it's print media, radio, or television. We visit hundreds of classrooms. This past year, we engaged with over 4,000 students of all ages to promote agriculture. We tour many different farms and processing facilities. A big part of my job is social media as well. So, communicating Wisconsin agriculture and what I am up to with audiences across the state. And we also attend hundreds of statewide and local events in Wisconsin and even beyond. And especially for National Dairy Month, I have spent plenty of time at dairy breakfast in the month of June. So that's just a snapshot at what my role as Alice looks like. And again, it's all with the goal of promoting Wisconsin agriculture.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so, I never realized it was a paid role.
Me either.
Growing up, I remember seeing Alice in Dairyland get to walk the shavings at World Dairy Expo in your glamorous dress, and I'm so envious of it. I'm like, I want to be that girl right now. That is so cool. But so you gave us a little precursor of, yes, you grew up in agriculture, but when did you know you wanted to be in Alice in Dairyland? Was it a dream when you were young? Was it when you were older? So kind of give us that story of when you discovered you wanted to be Alice in Dairyland,
Mhm.
and what led you to it.
Great question. And first and foremost, too, the colored shavings experience is something like no
Oh,
other. I was telling Emily, it's like you feel like such a princess, and it's just so cool to have everyone
yeah,
in that space before they select the supreme champion at Expo to be
yeah.
cheering for, Wisconsin and agriculture and the dairy industry. So that's always been a core memory for me, too, from a little age, has been seeing Alice every year at World Dairy Expo. But for me,
Mhm.
I did not grow up on a production agriculture farm. And so growing up, I had a lot of questions, right, about how things work in agriculture, what happens on a dairy farm, how is our food produced. And as I got older, a lot of because of 4 H and FFA, I really enjoyed communicating those stories to people, whether it was at our county fair or state fair, or we hosted a lot of educational events through FFA, or just having conversations with people like in the grocery store, right? I think it's so important to allow people to gain knowledge on the industry of agriculture and to equip them with that knowledge so they can make informed decisions. And it was also a theme for me throughout college. And so when it came time to really decide what's next for me, what does life after college look like? Alice in Dairyland is something that has always stuck out to me, but I really started to think more seriously about running for the role as I got into the latter half of my college experience. I would say once my junior year of college rolled around, I really was starting to seriously consider running for the role of Alice in Dairyland because, on the personal side, I thought it would be such a great bridge between college and what the rest of my career will entail within the industry of agriculture. And I really just felt called to this experience because I love connecting about agriculture, and I want to be that connection to people who don't have a lot of experiences in the industry or are further removed from the industry as a whole. So that was really my reason for wanting to serve in this role. That's been my underlying goal and what drives me forward each and every day. And it's really, again, being that connection to the industry of agriculture for audiences of all ages and all demographics and all backgrounds.
I love these conversations because I always get so fired up and just so excited talking with people that are
Yes.
passionate about what they do. And I love your story. And I'm not saying Becca and I are Alice in Dairyland or equivalent to that in any capacity, but we grew up in a similar way in terms of being
Mhm.
involved in agriculture, but not directly on any sort
Yeah.
of kind of production farm. Like we didn't grow up
Mhm.
directly on a dairy farm. And I feel like it really does kind of fuel you to bridge that gap and really create those conversations in a unique way with people who
Yes.
maybe don't have that experience. So I have kind of a side question then with
Yeah.
getting to jump into this role right after college. Has it changed your idea of maybe what you want your career to look like then moving forward
Mhm.
after this? Because I didn't realize you were wrapping up your reign and you're soon going to be
Yeah.
leaving the Alice in Dairyland role.
I know. It's so sad too. I'm like, oh my gosh, can this experience just keep going? But what I love about this program too is every year there is a new person, right,
Mhm.
to serve in this role, to bring a new perspective, new experiences, and a new background. But I've loved this experience so much. And I'm so excited to see where future Alice's continue to take this program and grow and develop it. But for me personally, I think this experience has really solidified that I want to stay in the industry of agriculture. I knew that going into it, but it's really solidified just how much I love this industry and how much I love the people that make up the industry. And moving forward in my career, I love marketing, I love media, I love education. So I really hope to kind of marry all of those things together throughout my career. And it's probably going to change and ebb and flow over the course of the next couple of decades. But I think as long as I have that underlying goal, honestly, of being that connection to agriculture, even within the industry, that's what I hope to accomplish into the future. And the central theme too has been the people. Like, I think what keeps me so motivated in this industry is the people in dairy and agriculture. They're so amazing, and they've all taught me so much, mentors and former teachers, my family, friends, you name it. And so that's what really drives me forward as well, is the people and the ability to continue serving especially our farmers and processors who make the industry of agriculture possible.
Yeah, and I feel like that perfectly leads into our next question. Allison Dairyland is, of course, a very just prominent advocate for Wisconsin agriculture, and in turn, that just represents all of agriculture so well. We want more
Mhm.
voices spreading the good knowledge of what agriculture is and the people
Yeah.
behind it. And I feel like you just shared on it a little bit, but with your role, what would you consider some of the most rewarding aspects of it, or even maybe something that was unexpected with going into this role?
Ooh, very good question. So, one super rewarding aspect for me has been the chance to visit classrooms and really highlight the educational aspects of Wisconsin agriculture with students of all ages. we really focus our programming on like K through 5. We especially focus on 4th grade education because in Wisconsin, with our core curriculum standards, that's when the history of Wisconsin starts to get introduced, and they focus on agriculture in 4th grade. So we've had this really fun program. It's called Expedition Agriculture, and it focuses on all aspects of the state of Wisconsin. We first define what agriculture is with students, talk about its economic impact in Wisconsin, the different career opportunities, and then we go on this really fun journey across Wisconsin through this presentation that highlights specialty crops and dairy and other livestock species. So in the educational setting, what I love is seeing like the light bulb moments with students. There have been quite a few school districts and classrooms where students are from a farming background or they have a lot of ties to the industry. So it really allows them to shine in that space and share their knowledge with their classmates. But on the same end of things, there's also a lot of students who are not connected to the industry as much, or they're in a very urban setting. And so to really see them bridge the connection between where their food comes from in, say, the grocery store, and then the journey that those products take to get to the store from the farm and the processor, that is super rewarding. And I love like getting hugs after the presentations with the students because they're just so excited to learn. And that's been so rewarding. And another really rewarding part of my job is just connecting with so many people. When it comes to those local and statewide events that Alice attends, there's such a diverse group of people that we have the opportunity to connect with. And that's what's really rewarding to me, is especially reaching those audiences outside of the industry just as much as we reach our farmers and other community members within agriculture. Another central theme to this is the people, right? I think what is so rewarding and what drives Alice and Dairyland as a program forward is the people and the excitement that Alice garners for audiences of all ages. And we're on year 77 now, and I'm so excited to see us hit year 100, right? And to still have that same excitement for the program that we have today with audiences across Wisconsin and even beyond.
Oh, can you imagine the 100th Alice in Dairyland? What kind of dress she would wear on the colored shavings?
I know. That would be, I wonder if like gold, I forget what 100 years the color is. Like there's different anniversaries.
Oh.
Well, I just remember having like a 100th anniversary Barbie that we used to collect when we were younger, and she had like, or maybe the Millennium Barbie. I'm thinking
the Millennium
of
Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's
shimmering.
Yeah, I wonder, like, yeah, lots of sparkles. I would say there's probably lots of sparkles and glitter
I could imagine.
involved.
I hope so.
Well, so you've talked about the people a lot, and Emmy, this is a bit of a side question for me, then I'll get back to our agenda, but you meet a lot of people, and you're this cultural, I would say, icon or staple for Wisconsin. Do you get recognized in public when you're not? Or like, do people come up and say, oh my God, it's Alice? Like, do people fangirl over you in Wisconsin? And how do you handle that?
Yes, really good question. So I would say once the sash or tiara is taken off, not many people recognize me just because of the iconic symbol that is the tiara. Like when that is on Alice's head, people notice her, right? But you can kind of be more incognito when I'm just Ashley. But family and friends who know me very well and who I have seen plenty of times this year, it's always, hi, Alice, you know? So they really play off of it, and it makes it so much fun. Like my mom literally has me in her phone now as Ashley/Alice. And then when I get home or she greets me, it's Ashley, Alice, how are you? So what I love is like the support system that I have behind the scenes. They really cheer me on, support me. They're the ultimate hype people. And sometimes I feel like I've gotten recognized like in my hometown more, like people who might know me a little bit or like in the general hometown vicinity, they have recognized me, you know, outside of when I'm working and when I have the sash or tiara on. But it's always fun, like at State Fair in Wisconsin. What is amazing is you're sometimes just like walking through the crowd to get from one show to the next or to go to a ceremony or an event. And you have people just yelling, "Hi, Alice!" Like all different people that are at the state fairgrounds and all over the grounds. And so
Mhm.
that was so fun for me actually, because then you just start like waving. You're not sure where the noise is coming from, but it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like I want to acknowledge how excited they are to see Alice because, like you said, Becca, she's kind of a cultural icon,
Yeah.
especially at these statewide events for Wisconsin, whether it's the Wisconsin State Fair, Farm Technology Days, World Dairy Expo, and more recently, all of the June Dairy Month events.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, she's always been a cultural icon for Emmy and I, right? That's one of our
Seriously.
favorite parts as a part of the Supreme pageant at World Dairy
Yeah.
Expo. But so I'm learning a lot in this interview
Yeah.
because Alice in Dairyland, in my experience or interaction with Alice, has always been in a dairy setting, and it's
Mhm.
Alice in Dairyland. So I've
Yeah.
unfairly made the assumption that it was primarily focused on dairy. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
dairy is such a key industry within Wisconsin agriculture. But I guess beyond dairy, what are some of, to Emily and I, the lesser known agricultural products or industries in Wisconsin that you
Mhm.
find particularly fascinating or important that
Yeah.
you've gotten to learn about as Alice?
Oh my goodness, all of them. It is amazing. It is amazing the sheer diversity and abundance of Wisconsin
Mm-hmm.
agriculture. So what's really awesome too is in the process of running for Alice in Dairyland, you're known as a top candidate. And we've actually restructured this process in recent years. So once you're announced as a top candidate, it's about 2 months before the Alice in Dairyland finals take place, where we select the new Alice. You get to go on this journey for 2 months of learning all about the different aspects of Wisconsin agriculture. So, if you're selected, you have a really great base knowledge to go off of when it comes to all aspects of Wisconsin's agricultural industry. So, some of our leading commodities. Dairy is, of course, one of the very well known ones. We are number one in the nation for cheese production and also number one for whey production. So, dry whey is another one of our top commodities, which makes sense with all of the cheese that we produce. So, we are known for our dairy industry, hence Alice in Dairyland and America's Dairyland. But some of those other top commodities include cranberries.
Yep.
So, in Wisconsin, we produce approximately 60% of the cranberry supply for the country, which I love cranberries. If you ever get a chance to go in a cranberry bed, do it. Just do it because it is amazing. We toured an amazing facility during cranberry harvest last fall, and it's just so fun to see the berries as they're processed and what they get turned into. So, cranberries are a leading commodity for Wisconsin. Also, green beans or snap beans.
Hmm.
Wisconsin, I've
Ooh.
actually learned, has a reputation for being the green state because we are in the top five nationally for many different types of vegetables.
Oh wow.
We're talking green beans, peas, carrots. We rank very highly for sweet corn and a lot of other different vegetables. So, green beans, though, we are the number one producer of. So, that's another leading commodity. And then
Okay,
to take it
I've
even
got
further,
to
oh, yeah.
just interject there. Is that why it's called the Green Bay Packers? Or is that because it's in
Oh.
Green Bay,
We are
Wisconsin?
the green beans.
Oh my gosh.
You
Okay, that
said
would be
that.
hilarious. So Green Bay. Okay,
Or is that
that's a
just
really
like where
great
it's
point.
located?
I love it. So yes, Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is the town located in
Okay.
Wisconsin, and it's located in the Bay of Wisconsin. So if I were to hold up my
Mm.
Wisconsin sign, the Bay Area is kind of where my thumb would be. Yes, excellent job. So that's Green Bay. But then the Packers honors the meat processing industry in
Oh.
Wisconsin. So
Oh,
meat
okay.
packers have a very strong
Oh.
history in Wisconsin, especially in that part of the state, in Green Bay. And we still have many processors in that part of Wisconsin, JBS and American Foods Group. But way back in the day when the Green Bay Packers were starting, that kind of honored another aspect of agriculture by naming the football team after the meat packers in Green
Oh,
Bay, Wisconsin.
No
How about
idea. I
that?
had no idea. Wow. What about the cheesehead then? So that just comes in because it's dairy, like America's
It comes
Dairyland.
in with the dairy industry, absolutely. And so what's really funny too is it is very well recognized, right? Like the cheese head is so central to the state of Wisconsin as well. But yes, the name of the Green Bay Packers honors the meatpacking industry, not green
Wow.
beans. That would be hilarious,
I
though.
mean,
Like
we
green
can.
beans.
Becca's just gonna keep that back of her mind. Like, no, you know what? No, I know I'm right.
Well, you were like talking about all of as the green state. It just thought, oh my God, that
Right.
makes so much sense. But
No, and
boy, was
it
I
totally
wrong.
does. No, I appreciate the train of thought because the green state, it honors like vegetable production, it honors the acres and acres of land that we have, it honors our environmental stewardship, it honors all of the state and national parks that we have in Wisconsin as well, because I have learned we have so many state and national forests. The further north you go in Wisconsin, the lumber industry and the forestry industry is also a huge part of Wisconsin agriculture. So there's so many different aspects that allow us to be known as the green state, which is what I've learned as Alice. It's like, oh my gosh, we are so diverse and there's so many different pieces and parts to the agricultural industry. And another commodity I wanted to highlight too is ginseng. So I don't know if you ladies have heard of ginseng or
Yeah.
have seen it before. So we are the top producer of ginseng.
Huh.
Wisconsin is. We cultivate over 95% of ginseng
Wow.
in Wisconsin. And it's mainly in one county that most of our ginseng is grown. So it's Marathon County, which is central Wisconsin. And what was really special about my year this past year is we actually traveled internationally to promote Wisconsin ginseng. This was with the Ginseng Board of Wisconsin. So we traveled overseas to Taiwan and mainland China last November to promote agriculture and promote ginseng and promote what makes Wisconsin so special when it comes to promoting ginseng. And that's just a snapshot at the diversity of agriculture. A couple weeks ago, I was planting horseradish roots with Silver Spring Foods. So Wisconsin has the world's largest producer and processor of horseradish. So it's so fascinating. All of these different businesses and processors and farms that I have the chance to tour and get to learn more about as Alice. And that's just skimming the surface. There is so much that goes into Wisconsin agriculture.
Yeah,
Wow.
no wonder Wisconsin makes such a good Bloody Mary. You've got the greens,
have all
you've got the cheese, you've got the meat,
the bacon.
You've got the horseradish.
You got all of the above.
All of the elements to a crazy good Bloody Mary.
Which I have to say,
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I never knew. Maybe this makes me sound so silly. I like horseradish. I never knew what it came from. It was just like it's. I know it's like ground up, but I don't know what the actual, I guess, plant looks like. And even ginseng, I know it's kind of an energy drinks, right? I never knew, again, we're involved in ag, and I never even thought of what is the beginning of that process? What does that even look like? I still have no idea. I'm going to Google it after this conversation.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, both of them, horseradish, ginseng, they're roots that grow underground, and you have the green foliage on top. And like with ginseng, you have the little red berries, and that's what contains the seeds for the next crop. And ginseng, it takes between 2 to 5 years to grow in order to cultivate that crop. And one really unique fact about ginseng is that it cannot grow in the same soil twice. We're not sure as to the exact reason for that, but ginseng, once it has grown in a certain part of land or in a certain type of soil, it can never be grown there again.
Wow.
So instead, our ginseng producers, they might then plant corn or soybeans, other types of specialty crops. That's a super unique fact that I've learned this year. And again, we're not sure the reasoning as to why that is. There's a lot of research that is really investigating why that is the case. But that's a fun fact about ginseng when it comes to growing it in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It is. A little bit
All the
picky.
facts.
I don't know if you would have told me ginseng facts would be on my 2024 Cowgirl Talk bingo card.
I know.
But I
mean,
love it.
We love it. We
I
love it.
Wow.
love
And
it.
talking about
See,
green beans, right? And the green bay
yeah.
packers and all that.
Yeah. Well, Emmy, I think what you said is it's a good humbling moment and a good
Oh,
moment for
yeah.
us to be able to
Mhm.
connect with another consumer is that
Mhm.
we're so hyper focused on promoting one thing that,
Mhm.
someone like an Alice or an Ashley, it's awesome to have you out there promoting and learning about all
Yeah,
of these different food products or agricultural products, right? It spans
of
beyond
course.
food. It also includes forestry. So
Yeah.
what you
Mhm.
eat, what you wear, and where you live is all
Yeah,
agriculture.
exactly.
So
And
I think that's
like
amazing.
oh, exactly. And like the food products, the textile products, the fuel. What's really cool with
Mhm.
Alice as well is that we actually have a vehicle. It is powered by ethanol fuel. Her name is Tassie. She's made possible thanks in part to the Wisconsin Corn Promotion Board. So I drive this vehicle around Wisconsin when I am on the job as Alice, and it's a great way to promote the renewable fuels that are available within agriculture thanks to grains like corn. So there's so many aspects to the industry that I think it's so special Alice gets to promote. And just as much as I am sharing this information and promoting it all over, I am learning so much. And that knowledge will stick with me for well into the future because to your point, it's so exciting to learn about all of the different aspects of agriculture and to have that knowledge because you never know when it might come in handy.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to have this conversation just because I knew that there was so much that goes on behind the scenes of Alice in Dairyland that we may not get to see. And obviously, there is a lot that this role entails. But just getting to have this conversation, you were obviously so well versed in it, and obviously just a very driven, smart. I mean, there's so much going on here that's amazing.
You're so
And
sweet.
well, you hyped up us, and I mean, again, we've always loved Alice in Dairyland, and it's really awesome to get to have this one-on-one conversation with you, and it's something that you're so passionate about. But throughout this process, and I mean, not just with being Alice in Dairyland, but even getting to this point, have you really ever had to overcome any self-doubt or imposter syndrome with this? Because first off, I mean, you are technically competing for this role, and now that you are going
Mhm.
through this role, you are learning a lot of new things that then you also have to learn
Yeah.
how to advocate for.
Right. That is such a great question. And when I first looked at the questions, I was like, wow, that is such a great area, I think, to
Yeah.
dive into. So, going back even to the process of running for Alice and becoming Alice, there's a lot of self doubt
Mm.
in that experience a little bit because there's usually 5 to 6 top candidates. And oftentimes we might know each other because of former experiences like in 4 H and FFA or showing or judging livestock, you name it. So, thinking back to being a top candidate, I remember really getting into the comparison game of, oh my gosh, I know what I'm doing. I wonder what everyone else is doing. How am I comparing to all of these other amazing women who are vying for this role as well? So that was a lot to overcome from the very beginning, even before becoming Alice, was just really telling myself that what I am doing, the knowledge that I was gaining, how I was approaching even becoming Alice was right in my lane. It was exactly where I was meant to be because I, as Ashley, bring unique qualities and skills and energy to this experience. And then becoming Alice, it's a lot of the same talk to yourself. I've learned to be very kind to myself, to really give myself positive self talk, because a unique part of this role is that I am traveling all on my own 90 to 95% of the time. So it's a lot of miles traveled, it's a lot of late nights, early mornings, spending a lot of time traveling on the weekends. And so you really learn to become your own best friend and really be kind to yourself. And what I also love about this role is that when I do get to an event or I am engaging with a media partner or visiting a classroom, I'm able to get so much awesome energy from the people that I'm interacting with and their excitement. Another part of this experience is going back to being a top candidate and becoming Alice is not comparing yourself to anyone who has maybe served in this role before, or even comparing yourself to other types of ambassador type positions within the industry of agriculture. I really try to tell myself, on the daily that I was selected in this role for a reason. I bring a unique energy. I bring a unique set of skills, excitement for this role, just like every Alice has before me. And as long as I stay true and authentic to who I am and can bring my genuine love for the industry and my genuine excitement for all that agriculture entails, then I know I've done my best, because that's what really drives me forward too. A big part of being Alice, I think, is being authentic and genuine in your approach to every conversation and every experience that you have. So that definitely helps me overcome, sometimes some self-doubt or negative self-talk that might creep into my brain when you might find yourself sometimes like comparing yourself to others, and that kind of steals away your joy. So that's a lot of different things at once, but definitely a big thing for me is like authenticity and really remembering who I am and what I bring to the role when it comes to, maybe sometimes you are battling some of those
Mm-hmm.
negative emotions or negative self-talk.
Yeah, completely. And I love getting to have conversations like this because I know that there are a lot of women that listen to this that have big goals, have big dreams, and maybe they're a little bit scared to go after them. Maybe, like you, they fall into the comparison trap, or they just think, oh, there's already someone doing this. I'm not good enough to do this. So you've
Right.
obviously really gotten to learn so much about yourself and really what you're capable of. I mean, throughout life, but especially in this role. And so for any women listening, but especially the young women, because you are still, I mean, recently graduated, you're still figuring out
Yeah.
life. Like,
Yeah, you've got a lot of life ahead of you.
I
I'll
know,
just say
right?
you are young and excited, and it's bringing youth back into my life.
yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and so for anyone else potentially kind of in this stage of life, but again, anyone who wants to do something new, a big goal, whatever it may be, but maybe a little bit scared or intimidated too, what would your advice be to them? And I know that's a big question, but even to what you needed to hear when you were in those moments.
Yeah, really great question. I'll kind of circle back on what I shared is being yourself. I think authenticity goes such a long way in life, whether it's personally, professionally, or otherwise. And especially for someone who might be looking to experience an ambassador type role like Alice in Dairyland, or just be a really strong advocate for the industry of agriculture and really put yourself out there. Being yourself goes such a long way. Authenticity and a genuine approach to whatever it is that you're doing is so, so, so important. And that was really important for me when running for the role of Alice in Dairyland. So the selection panel and my potential colleagues were able to see this is what Ashley is and what she brings to the table. And if you're in a role like Alice, authenticity is just so, so important because of all of the different people that you meet and all of the different experiences that you have, and just being go with the flow. It all goes back to being genuine. And another big piece of advice that I reflect on a lot and that I think is so important to share is just being kind, because you never know who you're going to meet or where you're meeting that person at, especially in my role as Alice. I meet people who I might never see again, which is so sad, but it's the nature of my role, especially when you're in a classroom setting or you're at big events with thousands of people. So if I can be kind and add a little extra positivity or love into someone's day, and it can make a difference in their life. That's been a big value for me as well, and something that is going to be a central theme of my life moving forward. So, those two big things, being authentic and being kind, I think apply to so many areas of our lives. And it's one thing that I've really focused on a lot this year because I've realized just how important it is. I want to receive authenticity and I want to receive kindness and I want to pour that back into others as well. So that's been a big theme for me this year.
You never know who you're going to meet later down the road.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
I mean, I graduated college 10 years ago.
Ooh,
and
so old. Just kidding.
Okay, rude.
Mine's 7. So
And
you guys are
you
so
know,
funny.
a kindness. I mean, just being nice to people has opened so many doors for me in my career. And people will remember you, or if they see your name pop up for a role, I'm currently in a dream job that I've worked 10 years to get to, that I never thought I would get to. And someone that I was nice to and friends with in college, her name was Becca also. So we were Becca 1 and Becca 2. And we just shared this humorous, acquaintanceship, or friendship together. Right. And she was the one who really helped me secure this, or thought of me for this role. So I think that is such a good piece of advice. And then, another part of being authentic is, I feel like, knowing what you like and staying true to it. So the way we would like to wrap up this episode. How about that transition?
Wow. We're professional podcasters. If
that was excellent. That was excellent.
I mean, I had to call it out, right? In case anyone else didn't.
Yeah, like y'all saw that, right?
Skill that I just used there. So whenever this episode airs, it's going to be July 1st, which is kicking off Ice Cream Month.
Woo!
And so, Ashley, what we would love to know is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? And maybe if it's different, what is the most unique or the coolest ice cream that you've ever gotten to try? And I don't know if this puts you in a tough position.
Yeah, you don't have to name brand names or anything.
The creameries that you've experienced.
Great question. Well, my response as Alice is any ice cream that's from Wisconsin, right? I mean, not trying to be too biased, but just wanted to throw it out there. But as Ashley, who is also Alice right now, my favorite ice cream flavor, and it's very unique, I like to think, is it's sometimes called orange chocolate bliss, or it might have other names, but it's an orange-based ice cream with chocolate chips in it, or chocolate flavoring. It is so good.
Wow.
And it's really good in the summer because it's so refreshing. You get this fruity flavor from the orange, and then you get the chocolatey flavor, which I'm a chocolate gal by trade, so I'm all about that. But it combines fruity and chocolate, and it's kind of like if you've ever had a chocolate covered orange, or there's orange flavored chocolate I've seen. It's very similar, and it sounds super unique, but when they put it all together, it just tastes amazing. So I'm not sure if you ladies have had the chance to try.
I have not.
It's orange chocolate bliss is where I've seen it the most. It's amazing.
So, okay, people sleep on orange and chocolate together.
I've never had orange and chocolate together.
So I first came into the combination whenever I started my Great British Baking Show journey, and British people love orange and chocolate. They love it. And so but I also love fruit and chocolate together. So my favorite ice cream is Arboretum. Am I saying that right? From Penn State?
Oh, yeah,
Arboretum Swirl. Okay. And so obviously we're Penn Staters in Pennsylvania.
Big Ten. It's all Big Ten.
I'm going to say,
I love it.
I actually think Pennsylvania ice cream is the best, but so it was a raspberry and chocolate, kind of swirl and chips in a cream cheese flavored ice cream. So good.
Okay, I'm sold. I need to go to Pennsylvania.
I know, right?
Just to try the ice cream.
Well, and even in Pennsylvania, actually, we just, I think it's through the Center for Dairy Excellence.
Yes, I saw that.
They have their a job this summer is being professional ice cream trail taste testers. So you can eat ice cream to make money through the summer. I'm like, where was this when I was in high school and college? Because I can't get my job now.
I know.
You're like, wow, okay, that's a dream job. Maybe in retirement, right? A few years away from now. But if we can all be professional ice cream tasters, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm excited to see what flavors they try.
What about you?
Okay, so
you eat a lot of ice cream. You're an ice cream connoisseur.
Do I? Okay.
You do.
No,
anyone who follows you on Instagram knows you're an ice cream.
I love it.
I love my
taste tester.
Yes,
by trade.
I love it.
I just actually they're in the freezer right now. I got a Ninja Creamy, so I can make my own ice cream. So I haven't tried anything yet, though, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. But for me, I enjoy fruit, but for me, I'd rather not have my fruit in ice cream. So I'm glad y'all could cover that side of ice cream.
Wrong.
But you guys are wrong. I want mine to be decadent. I want it to be chocolatey. I want it to be like brown sugary. I don't know, just like not fruity and fresh. I want it to be dark and decadent, and I don't know how else to describe it. I'm terrible at describing food flavors. I would not do well on Food Network.
You like really intense, rich flavors.
Rich,
when
yes,
it comes
like kind
to
of
desserts.
rich flavors. So
For sure.
I remember specifically, it was in Utah 2 summers ago, and it was at the Creamery, which was in Beaver, Utah. I can't remember.
Okay.
But
Yep.
this flavor, I can't remember the exact name, but it was basically like sweet cream ice cream with espresso swirled through it and then Java chip brownies or something. And I remember it to this day still. It was my favorite ice cream ever because I've really started to love coffee in the past couple years. And then you throw it into ice cream where it's not super heavy yet on the flavor. And then you have the really chewy, gooey brownie pieces. And then that same week, we went over to Zion, which is a couple hours away. And this other creamery had the exact same flavor with a different name. So I got to have it twice in 1 week. And I still think about it. And that's probably my, that's like one of my favorite ice cream experiences. I always think of that flavor specifically. So yeah, it's a memory. It's a core memory for me, obviously.
Yeah,
I
if
love
you're
that. Okay, that would
watching
be-
this
yes.
video versus if you're a video listener instead of just an audio listener, and Emily's body language explaining this ice cream,
I'm like using hands,
can
using
tell-
lots of
she loves
hands.
it.
you can tell how deeply she loves this ice cream.
So good.
I love
So
it.
good.
I'm right in that train though too. Like I'm normally a chocolate gal, and then you add the coffee and the texture of the brownie and like everything. Oh, that makes me really want to go to Utah now and like get that specific ice cream.
I know. It's worth
Oh my
it.
gosh, road trip.
Ugh.
Road trip.
You know what? I actually, this is so hard because as
Oh, if
you
I
were
changed your
thinking
mind?
about that, I don't know. No, maybe I love a good key lime pie ice cream.
Oh, so still in that realm, but then more on like the tart
Yeah, but
side.
it's still in that, more
Yeah.
on the tart side. We had some. I'm just thinking of. We visited Joey's family in Naples, Florida.
Oh, where key
like,
limes,
Florida
yeah.
is the place to get key lime, right?
We are.
They had graham cracker in it and cheesecake pieces.
Oh,
So
that's really good too. Graham crackers in ice cream.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. It's so good. Though. It is so good.
we should have an entire episode dedicated to ice cream. Well, we probably will. We are going to at this point.
I mean, Emmy and I asked a previous guest a bit of a tougher question around ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to bring it back.
Oh.
We asked Michelle,
Shaq.
if you had to describe your personality in an ice cream flavor and why, what would it be? So I know we're throwing this one out
We
of
gave
left
her
field,
a heads up on that because it's a hard question.
but I feel like you're really in tune with your ice cream flavors and your personality. So I feel like you could give us a good answer.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there are so many flavors that come to mind.
Whoa.
But I'm trying to think of all of the ones
Oh.
that I
Or
love.
like maybe there's an Ashley ice cream and an Allison Dairy ice cream.
Like where it
that rings
combines.
true to Wisconsin.
I feel like, okay, any Wisconsin flavors, one that comes to mind, okay, I'm going to take this out of left field. Anything to do with maple. And there's a couple reasons for this. So going back to, some of the top commodities in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is 4th in the nation for maple syrup production. And this year as Alice, I have toured so many like maple syrup processing areas, and there's a lot of maple syrup events in Wisconsin. I wonder what it's like in Vermont, because I feel like Wisconsin celebrates it so much, maple syrup, and we're not even the top producer of it. So anyway, anything with maple syrup in ice cream, there's like maple bourbon flavors and maple pecan. I feel like that would be a home run for me. And more recently, Emily, especially since you're a coffee drinker, if you can put maple syrup in your coffee,
Ooh.
and it has to be the real maple syrup, but it is life changing. So maybe I would change my answer to be combining maple syrup and coffee
Yes.
in an ice cream.
Yes.
And do it in your Ninja Creamy and report
Ooh,
back.
Yeah. I
Yes.
can make any
That
flavor I
is
want
so
now.
good. Oh man, you know what? My mind was swirling while asking you this question, Ashley, because I'm thinking of, could it be a cream puff ice cream from the
I
state
thought it was
fair,
grasshopper
or like
ice cream.
grasshopper,
that-
or I
yeah.
thought
Yes.
rhubarb. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the
Rhubarb.
just an
Yes.
idea we're pitching you as Alice in Dairyland
Oh,
is that the Wisconsin State Fair have an Alice in Dairyland official ice cream flavor contest.
yes,
I
that's
love
genius.
You're
That
welcome.
would be so fun.
I love that.
You could
Sponsored
do,
by
like-
Cowgirl Talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
what?
totally.
I don't know.
You could have like cranberries too. You could have
Oh,
like
a cranberry
fruity.
ice cream.
Okay, I don't
You could
support
have
that
fruity
actually.
flavors.
Take my name off
Okay.
of it if it's fruity.
I love the cream puff though. The cream puff idea
Yeah.
is also really amazing. Also, side note, so we did our National Ice Cream Month campaign last year when I
Mhm.
started, and
Mm.
mascarpone cheese. Have you ladies had
Ooh,
mascarpone
yes.
cheese?
Yes.
So we did, it was a salty vanilla, no churn mascarpone ice cream.
Oh.
It was amazing. And your base is pretty much just like mascarpone cheese and a few other flavors, and you freeze it, and it creates a delicious ice cream.
Yum.
So like cheese can 100% go into ice cream as well. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd put it in with the maple and the
Yeah.
coffee flavors. You honestly could though. Chocolate mascarpone, you could make it work.
True.
But there's lots of options. There are many different options.
We have just
Oh, I
created so
love
many
it.
new ideas. Look at us brainstorming.
I know. We are diversifying the market, right? We're going to be very differentiated.
Go us. Go team us.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Cowgirl Talk, Alice in Dairyland. We're starting a business venture and it's all ice cream.
I've always
What a
had
collab.
yeah, I've always wanted to get into ice cream, so don't tempt me
know.
because I will. I will follow
It could
through
be
with
fun.
this.
It could be fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has just
I love
been such a fun conversation from really getting to learn more about what Alice in Dairyland does, the process of that, but then also all the different types of agriculture in Wisconsin, to having important conversations with consumers, to now creating our own ice cream brand. I've loved everything that we've really gotten to chat about today. And if people want to continue following along, whether it's with Ashley or whether it's with Alice in Dairyland, as I know your role is soon going to be changing to someone else, where can
Yes.
people continue to connect with you and find you?
Of course. So for me, you can find Ashley Hagenow on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. Would love to connect with anyone who might be listening and just connect because that's what agriculture is
Yes.
all about. And for Alice in Dairyland specifically, because we are just about to our transition to Wisconsin's 77th Alice. Her name is Haley Heinzel. She will start in just a few weeks. I'm so excited for Haley because she is a bundle of joy and a ball of energy, and she loves Wisconsin agriculture so much as well. So if you would like to follow along with me in my last few weeks and then see Haley begin this incredible year of service and just follow the program into the future, you can find Alice in Dairyland on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X, formerly known as Twitter. We also have a website, and that is aliceinDairyland.com. So our website covers our program history, alumni of the Alice in Dairyland program. You can learn more about our program partners, current initiatives that we're up to when it comes to Wisconsin agriculture. And you can also request Alice for events, mainly in Wisconsin, but you never know. Even if you're out of state, it might work for us to come visit and share more about Wisconsin and agriculture in general. So definitely check out our website and check out Alice in Dairyland on social media.
Okay, so many awesome places to connect. I love that. I love that there's a
Yes.
website as well to even connect with past Alice's as well. So that's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And if anyone wants to find Cowgirl Talk on socials, we are on Twitter. No, we're not on Twitter. I just said that because you said it. We are on TikTok.
We are not.
I lied. I so lied right there. We're on Instagram,
funny.
Facebook, YouTube, technically on TikTok, but we're on Cowgirl Talk if y'all want to continue to connect with us, ask any questions. And thanks for tuning in to this conversation. I'm so glad we got to have that.
And
Yay,
as
thank
always,
you.
this was so fabulous. Ashley / Alice / Alice, as Emily called you earlier. Thank you so much for coming. And we always like to end this by saying, have a great day, cowgirls.
Bye.
Bye.